Hey there, I am meteorologist Ben Peine. It is your weather show. How's it going? It's August the 13th. Happy hump day. Again, meteorologist Ben Peine here for Ben at 10. Actually, quite a bit that I want to talk about today as we've got a little bit of a storm chance today. I think less than yesterday as a weak front settles into Kentucky. Still might spark a couple downpours across the area. We're going to look ahead to a heat wave this weekend and then some relief for next week. So we're going to look at all of this here over the next 45 minutes or so. So we're looking at actually a decent start, slightly rain-cooled air over the area this morning. Not quite as muggy in most spots getting started with some lower 70s right now, but it is still going to be a muggy day out there with temperatures in the upper 80s. We're going to get a stronger, it looks like, Canadian front to move through by the middle and end of next week. I think that'll be a game changer for the rest of August. So we're looking at, again, big changes late next week. So stick around for that. And if you've been around the show for a little while, you know what that means. That means that segment is Ben on a limb. All right, looking live outside, we are looking at quite a bit of sunshine across the area, just a little bit of cloud cover. We'll likely see, like clockwork, as we get a little bit later into the morning time, some of those cumulus clouds growing a little bit bigger out there. And eventually, a few of those cumulus clouds might grow into a chance of a couple of those downpours. I was so happy to get some of that rainfall. My yard got a really good, healthy drink yesterday. Had the rainbows at the end of the day across our area. So if you missed out on that rain, a little chance you might get it for today. So, and we just got to be patient for that bigger relief on the way. So the weather headlines for today, for your August the 13th, a few storms are going to be possible, mostly dry for the rest of this week. And then we're going to look at it's Wednesday, so we're looking ahead to the weekend. There's some big events happening this weekend, so we'll look ahead to that as well. And then we're talking about that relief next week. Your play ball forecast for today, 86 at noon, upper 80s, near 90 degrees. I think urban locations, city locations, probably around 90, 91. Suburbs, outlying areas, mostly upper 80s. 82 at 8 p.m. and about a 30% chance of that pop-up shower or thunderstorm for today. No severe weather expected with that. But as we saw yesterday, if you get caught under one of those downpours, it can be heavy and you might get some lightning and thunder. So a west wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Adding up the radar and satellite out there now, you can see the active weather is off to our east right now over Pennsylvania, West Virginia, into Tennessee, and southeastern Kentucky. There's a little bit of rainfall, but we've got a break right now. There's, again, not much happening, plenty of sunshine across the region at the moment. Go ahead and break out of the full screen here and bring up some of the current conditions across the area. So let me go ahead and bring on the METARs. I'm going to stop the satellite here. And actually, let me bring up really quickly a look at the temperatures. So there you can see, we're looking at 70s across our area right now, 77 in Louisville. The dew points, lower 70s. That is a bit sticky out there still. We would like to see our dew points in the 60s in the summertime, a little more comfortable. And then 50s dew points are more like fall dew points, which we might get, again, late next week. So not much wind out there. And if we do get any breeze, it's going to be on the light side from the west at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So things overall, again, as we look at the radar and satellite, pretty quiet across the region right now. Heading over to extolmag.com/weather, your weather resource. We've got our live stream up, the brand new 7-day forecast, interactive radar, current conditions, weather story. No severe weather outlook for us. You can see day 1 and day 2 right there. No watches or warnings or anything like that. And as we scroll a little bit farther down, this is the big interactive radar right there. And it is showing now a kind of a variable light breeze. I'm seeing some of these wind direction arrows around Radcliffe, Kentucky, pointing south. So we've got this very weak front over the region that, again, might spark a few showers and thunderstorms later today. The current conditions out there showing lower to mid 70s in most locations with, again, the active weather off to our east and southeast. And I think, there could be a random pop-up anywhere today. I think it's a fairly small chance, but perhaps if there is a trend slightly better chance over central southern Kentucky. So Bluegrass Parkway South, I think we're going to see a little better chance of that shower or thunderstorm for today. All right. Looking at a few comments popping in here this morning. Thanks for joining the show here at 10:05. We've got a B Local 502. Good morning from the Highlands. And we got a bonus rain in Fern Creek outside of the Snyder. There you go. And Perry Porter, good morning. After the rain, my Yorkies didn't like the thunder. Yeah, I've got 2 out of my 3 dogs that do not enjoy the thunder. And Orlean Whitlow, good morning. Got a little rain last night, a trace in Hodgenville. Hopefully you guys down south have a little better chance of rain today. And Vicky Berger saying, another wonderful day. There you go. Another nice, wonderful summer day across the region. So that's what's happening out there now as we bring up the full screen live cam here. I'll get my face out of the way just so we can our little moment of zen around the Falls of the Ohio. This is the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Some folks taking a little stroll along the park there, Ashland Park, the waterfront here along New Albany and Clarksville, and things, again, pretty quiet around the region at the moment here at now 10:06. I want to give a shout out to our partners here. We can do this because of them and, of course, 100% because of you, because you're here. So protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, that is your home and the roof of your home. If you have any damage this year or you have any roofing questions, you can get a free estimate here online, lionsroofingco.com, or you can give them a shout, 812-294-3595. Lions Roofing, family-owned right here in Southern Indiana, but they can cover you in Kentucky as well. So, again, that's 812-294-3595. And as I always mention, they work alongside insurance companies if there is that storm damage. But if you have any coverage you might want to quote, I recommend Michael Long with American Family Insurance. So he's got products all over the Hoosier State, but also products in the Commonwealth. 5-star reviews, almost all of them there, 163 reviews. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence and customer experience. You can give Michael a call, 812-578-3072. Tell him I sent you, or you can go to amfam.com and then just search Michael Long. There are a lot of opportunities out there for you too. If you know a family member, or maybe it's you that needs an opportunity, a career, a job here, you can apply now right here at libspaving.com, and you just click on learn more, and that's where you're going to find where you can apply for that job online. Obviously, it'll help you out to level up your career here at ivytech.edu. The locations will take you right to Sellersburg. Our beautiful Sellersburg campus had a big event yesterday as they were doing their signing ceremony for the Enlisted Training Corps program. And it was really cool. So Dr. Marty Polio, the new president of Ivy Tech in Indiana, was there. And so was Brigadier General, the U.S. Army, and the Indiana National Guard. So what that program does, if you take that course at Ivy Tech, you graduate with an associate's, you can be enlisted in the military at a 30% increase in pay compared to the standard entry. So you might want to check that out if you know somebody that might be interested in service, public service, or the military service. You can check that out at ivytech.edu. All right, let's get to the forecast here for you. Remove that, add this up here, and just a reminder, if you got any weather questions, you can always send them to me, ben@extolmag.com. If you're not seeing something that you want, it might be some kind of map or some kind of forecast. This is your show, so send me an email, ben@extolmag, ben@extolmag.com. And then also, if you you've got a business or an organization, we can help you out with marketing and advertising. You can see your logos on my content right here. Again, that is ben@extolmag.com. All right. So again, there's the weather headlines. Few storms today, mostly dry the rest of the week, and then relief next week. So we got plenty to talk about on today's edition of Ben at 10. The 30% chance of a pop-up storm today will give us a high around 89 degrees. And take a look at that double rainbow right there. That was a nice double rainbow out of the knobs here from Wes Bannett. So thanks for Wes for sharing that one. You can always share those photos too to Indiana Skies. It's a group on Facebook. and then I can take them and show them off right here, and share them all over social media. So again, just search Indiana Skies in Facebook and join the group. So I did actually saw, I think that probably that same rainbow. It's not too far from my house at the end of the day because of the showers. And then yesterday I took this picture of a little flock of turkeys. Are they called a flock? I don't know. A gobble of turkeys. But I've been watching these guys pretty much all year long, getting bigger and bigger as they just kind of roam around the same general area. So always nice to see that wildlife out there. So speaking of some events happening this weekend, the Big Knobs Fest, that's a good time. If you haven't been out there, this is your event for the weekend here in Southern Indiana, up in the Knobs, St. Mary of the Knobs. They got their famous chicken dinner, but take a look at the activities here for Knobs Fest, St. Mary of the Knobs. So Saturday, 5:30 p.m. to midnight, you've got games and pull tabs, live music, Juice Box Heroes will be out there, a beer garden, food trucks, gambling. They got Big Six, blackjack, tethered hot air balloons. A lot going on Saturday at Knobs Fest. Sunday, that's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. To finish off the weekend. Famous chicken dinner, large kids zone, games of chance, games of skill, pull tabs, raffle drawing at 3 o'clock, food and ice cream. If you want to know more, you can get in contact with them. There's a phone number right there in the bottom right, or you can head to yoursmk.org. And also, starting Friday through the weekend, through next week, through the following weekend, 15th through the 25th, it is your Kentucky State Fair. Now, if I were going to advise you about the Kentucky State Fair, maybe hold your big visit until late next week, because that's when we should get relief. But we got a little bit of a heat wave to kick off the Kentucky State Fair with mid-90s, heat index likely over 90 for Saturday and Sunday. How many days? We're keeping track here. Before 8 p.m. sunsets now 20 days away. Autumn begins in 39. Average highs in the 70s, 41 days. Halloween in 78 days. The forecast here for today, 89 degrees, 30% chance of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny, muggy, west winds at around 5 to 10. We still have those dew points in the 70s, and that means it's pretty sticky air out there. Sunset at 8:38. And our forecast tonight, low 73 degrees. Now, tonight and tomorrow night, we could have some foggy spots because of some of the rain that we recently got. No wind, mostly clear sky. You just got foggy ingredients. So out the door, tomorrow morning and Friday morning, we might have a little bit of fog to deal with. Tomorrow's forecast for your August the 14th, mostly dry. I just put the wording isolated pop up. I think it's most of us are not going to see that. Our high temperature up to around 90 degrees. Again, after maybe a little bit of a foggy start, 86 at noon. And near our normal high of 89 for this time of the year. Normal low is 70. Sun up at 6:57. Our sunset at 8:37. And the 7-day forecast starts to ramp up here this weekend. We've got some more August heat to deal with. Perhaps this will be our last heat wave of August because, again, we've got plenty to talk about here as we dig into the weather model data, which we typically do around 10:15, 10:20. As we do the Ben on the Limb segment, we're going to be looking at that relief that's looking more confident with the weather models for the middle and end of next week. Before we get there, 92 Friday, mostly dry for the rest of this week. 95, right around 95, back-to-back, Saturday and Sunday. And that heat index around 100 to 105. We did this a lot in July. We're getting a little more taste of a heat wave for this weekend. So just take care, keep cool out there any way you can. Not bad to be by a body of water this weekend. Monday, 94, 92 Tuesday. Maybe a couple showers and thunderstorms as we start to get that Canadian front to move into our area around Wednesday. So the GFS weather model, what I've noticed, the trend as we look at the long-range data this year, it's been like a day ahead of the European weather model. It's been right sometimes, it's been wrong sometimes. So the GFS has that relief next Wednesday coming down. The European and the Canadian weather models has that relief dropping in as we head into next Thursday. Either way, looks like late next week, we are back to some feel-good weather across the area. All right, just a slight drink of the coffee here as we take a live look outside. And we'll start to get rolling on into that weather model data. Getting some comments too. Let's take a comment break before we look at the weather models here. Lillian Lasley, we've got a good morning, another beautiful day. Christian Walker's good morning. And Robert Simpson saying, good morning. Looks like Mother Nature still has a chip on her shoulder. When you're hot as we continue on. Yeah, perhaps. It's kind of a tough year of weather. Had a strong winter. We got battered in the springtime. We got the heat, fifth hottest July. And quite a bit of storms in July as well. This August has been better, in my opinion. Teresa Logston, good morning to you. And Christian saying, Indiana State Fairgrounds Event Center and State Fair, August 1st to 17th. So it is wrapping up. And then Laverne Bannett with a good morning. We had Wes Bannett with the rainbow picture earlier. And Alice Young with a good morning too. So thanks for all the good mornings piling up in the comments section. All right, we are going to get to, again, that model data. The radar and satellite, pretty quiet here for us this morning. Not really seeing anything popping up around our region. The active, let me get rid of the comment there. The active weather, you can see, is mainly off to the east. And then there is, as we look to the west, some tropical weather. This is Tropical Storm Erin. As we go full screen here. Started off the coast of Africa. So this is the historic path of Erin. And then there's Erin now, right smack in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You can see the official track from the National Hurricane Center. Also on there, I've added the spaghetti models, the tropical models, and they are really hugging tightly to the official forecast. So it looks like confidence is high in this forecast track. Winds are around 47 miles per hour. It is forecast to become a major hurricane as it travels to the north of Puerto Rico. And then it's likely going to continue to curve and go over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So the only place that might have to watch out for this would be Bermuda up over here. But it looks like it'll stay way off the east coast of the United States. So there's Bermuda, and then it might be a threat for those areas. Might give some wave action if you had any vacation plans along the east coast, maybe some riptides. But other than that, things are still quiet as far as any contact with the continental United States and tropical weather. All right, let me clear that out. And we've got Vicky. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. This is a Goodwill find. I don't even know what this logo is. I think it's a school. My daughter likes to go hunting around the Goodwills and the vintage places, thrift shops, all that. It's very popular these days. So every once in a while, she'll pick me up something if she's thinking about me. So that's where this one came from. Who knows? One of your family members may have bought this shirt. All right, we are back here. We're going to look at the weather models. We get out of the full screen. Christian Walker, I don't see any tropical weather towards Florida right now. As you can see, it's pretty quiet down there. As we load up the weather model data, the high resolution models were actually fairly quiet for today. So let's get to it as we I'm going to bring up the HRRR high resolution rapid refresh weather model. It's obviously picking up on the active weather to our east right now. So we're seeing a lot of activity from those storms last night that have moved off to the east. There's a little bit of a boundary. It's just kind of a wind direction shift. Very light winds. This is a very weak front over the region that might spark a couple of these downpours later on today. But the trend has kind of been over central southern Kentucky with the better chance. This is at 3 o'clock, showing most areas dry. This is at 4 p.m., starting to see maybe a little pop up there. John Fox, good morning. Thanks for tuning in, sir. And then there you can see the development of a few of these pop-up downpours, tropical in nature, so they can be small but mighty with some heavy rainfall as that comes down. So if you did not get that rain yesterday, there is a little bit of a hope for that. I think, again, that better chances in Kentucky rather than southern Indiana today overall. That looks like the trend here. Just pushing this. This is around 8 o'clock today, and then this is around 9 o'clock, around sunset. And John Fox keeping an eye on the tropics there. A pretty possible disturbance in a week or so. Yeah, so if you ever want to play along with the tropics, you can just go nhc.noaa.gov, and that will take you right to the tropics. So there's a little bit of a little feature right here near the Yucatan Peninsula. It doesn't have much of a chance, only 20% chance. And we got Tropical Storm Aaron, I expect to become a major hurricane. And then, so other than Aaron, not a whole lot out there tropics-wise. All right, let's get back to the models. And so that is the HRRR High Resolution Rapid Refresh weather model for today. And again, in just a second, we're going to look a little farther out and take a peek at the relief I think we're going to see next week. All right, so this is at 4 p.m. today with the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. It's got a couple of storms popping up in southern Indiana. This is at 5 p.m. today. And this here is at 6 o'clock. It shows a little better chance than the high resolution rapid refresh weather model of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. And then here is 8 o'clock today. So again, that's why I've got about a 30% chance of that rainfall out there for today. I'm going to bring this up full screen. And then I'm going to walk over really quickly and grab Big Happy Cup. Hopefully the mic stays on here. We'll take a look and grab a little extra coffee as we start to dig into the weather model data. Here, we'll listen to the coffee here. There you go, fresh coffee. Fresh coffee for everybody. All right, that's our coffee break of the day. Sponsored by whoever you want. All right. Well, now we got Big Happy back here. How's the mic? Did it mess up the mic at all? Do a little mic check. Mic still good there? Yeah, hey, we're good. You never know if you walk too far away if the mics are going to mess up. So again, midway through the show, 10:22, digging into the weather models. Straight up dark roast coffee right there. Christian saying central Indiana did not get any rain, went straight east. Yeah, you guys might continue to dry out. The drought monitor will come out tomorrow, and I think we'll see more of the northern half of Indiana under drought conditions, which is obviously not good during the growing season. Okay, so back to the models here. It's at 8 p.m. today. This is at that's at 9 o'clock. So you get the picture. Random pop-up showers or thunderstorms. JK's, good morning. Thanks for tuning in here. Appreciate you being on the show. Now, other than that, let's do a look at the dew points, and then we're going to look at good news. We're going to focus on the good news now. The rest of the show is going to be good news. we hope. All right. So this is the dew point map. You see it's humid, summertime mugginess until you hit Colorado, Wyoming, and then you're in the desert air. The red is desert, blue is muggy. We're in the muggy zone, but we want that to change. And we're going to start to go into the long range. And I'm going to start it off with the Climate Prediction Center, but we got to start it off with this first. Just a reminder, we're going on a limb here. We're going to go out to the latter parts of the long range weather model data. All right, so there's our mugginess that we have now. I'm going to bring up the GFS weather model, and I'm going to also, I looked at the European, I looked at the Canadian weather model today to compare and contrast. They're about a day off. I'll explain that here in just a second. Oh, I said I was going to bring up the Climate Prediction Center. So let me stay good to my word here. That's the 6 to 10 day outlook. So toward the end of the 7-day forecast, I think we're going to start to see the influence of this cooler pocket of air dropping in from the Great Lakes. Now, what I really want to show you is the 8 to 14-day outlook. That's what we are talking about right here. That is going to be a good finish to August. Climate Prediction Center. This is a division of the National Weather Service, and their job is to look way out, and they are seeing that change as well. The western United States getting hotter, we start to get cooler. That is going to be very nice. We might see highs in the 70s, dew points in the 40s and 50s, fall-like conditions late next week, and let's see if the models can back us up with that as we bring up again the GFS weather model. And I'm going to bring up first, this is just kind of an easy way to glance at a weather pattern change. So this is today, and there is some refreshing air out there. It's out to the west, though, with that stronger front, and we just won't get into that. We're going to get into a heat wave this weekend. We're talking heat index over 100. So I'm going to push this right ahead to the 17th, which is Sunday, and we've got tropical air all over the place. All right, so that's not fun. That's super hot. Let me see if I can bring up, this is Sunday. We're looking at 95, the high temperature. Sometimes the GFS weather model won't show. So this is the heat wave. Whoop. This is through the weekend. This is hot stuff right here. So check it. Check it out. All of this is like heat index numbers that we don't like to see. 100, 105 is what we're feeling like Saturday and Sunday. Boo to that. All right. But let's go to Tuesday, shall we? So it's going to be Tuesday the 20th. No. Tuesday the 19th. Tuesday the 19th we go. All right. Now we're starting to see something. This is the front right here. It is still north of us. Tuesday next week, we are still in the heat wave. Let's watch the progression of this front as we go to Wednesday the 20th. We're going to go 5 p.m. Wednesday. That's right around when we have the high temperature. And now what's happening? Oh boy, the GFS is treating us good. 1 week from now, look at that trough. So a trough is a dig down of the jet stream. Heat wave down here over the Gulf and Southeast states. Desert just being a desert. But we're in the good stuff here. We're putting the happy face on that. This is Wednesday next week. Crazy good it might feel late next week. Let's just sit back and look at next Wednesday. Now, the caveat to this is that the European weather model and the GFS or the Canadian are about a day behind next Thursday. So give or take, next Wednesday, next Thursday, we should be in good shape. Now, let me clear that out. So that's the temperature, but let's look at the dew point temperatures. And they kind of lag behind sometimes, but they're dropping as well. So this is next Wednesday, and this is going to be a sad day for the Peine family. Exciting and sad as we're going to be taking Hannah and moving her into her dorms at IU. Been an emotional roller coaster here the last couple of weeks, folks. And those of you who've had children go to college, I'm sure, or go away anywhere, have been in the same boat. All right, let's go to the 21st. So this is next Thursday. We're loving this. Look at the dew point drop, 50s. I mean, guys, if this happens, this is like early fall for sure, like late September, early October. This would be the big mega weather headline here for us next week. Gonna be looking forward to this for sure. So that's the dew points. Precipitable water, that's going to be going way down. That's to measure the water content through the column of the atmosphere. And look at that. That's that potential hurricane, or that's probably Aaron wrapping up to the northeast, but tropical weather down south, Canadian air wins the battle for us. We'll be talking about this probably next Wednesday, next Thursday. How long can it linger will be the next question. It looks like a decent amount of time. Again, the Climate Prediction Center said that, okay, so that's the 21st, Thursday, 22nd, Friday, next week. Again, the Climate Prediction Center showing above normal chances of below normal temperatures starting next week and maybe continuing for the rest of August, we hope. This is next Friday, the 22nd. And again, we see the tropical air staying south of us, bringing up the temperature. It's showing 70s, low 80s. We would take that, no doubt about it. Looking good next week, guys. All right, let's go bring back the precipitable water into next weekend. So that's Friday. We go into the 23rd is a Saturday. It's starting to try to creep up some tropical moisture. And I'm going to go into the following week. So that would be, so Friday 23rd is Saturday, 24th is Sunday, 25th would be a Monday, I believe. I'm not the best with dates. So we might get a couple cold fronts, one mid next week, one the following week. This would promote below normal temperatures overall as we wrap up August. So we're going to have some good news to talk about more and more day by day. So we're loving that. That is a look at your Ben on a Limb segment right there. All right. We are here at 10:32. Interested in the rain totals yesterday. We had 2.5 inches in our rain gauge this morning in Brandenburg. Good for you. That should hold you good through the weekend. And Christian saying, I can see all that heat. Yeah, looking at heat index numbers, 100 or above for this weekend. We've got some hot stuff for the weekend. Let me see if I can, Steve, bring up some of the rainfall totals. If the National Weather Service clears it out, then we won't have the rainfall total, but maybe we will. Rainfall total. So this is the rainfall total map. Oops, don't want that. Wait a minute. That's not what I'm wanting. Bear with me here. I thought I had a scene for this. There's live radar total precip. There it is. Look at this. Look at this. So this is yesterday and last night's precipitation. I'll bring it up full screen here for you. So you can see there were some, let me clear that up. Haves and have-nots as far as the rainfall yesterday. Man, there was a lot there. Western Breckinridge County. You were saying Brandenburg. Whoa! We slow down the zoom here. Okay, let me show you a couple things. So this is the radar site right here, Fort Knox radar site. And that shows some areas like around 3 inches east of Brandenburg. Brandenburg, this is right on target. You said 2.5 inches, Steve. That's showing around that amount in many locations surrounding Brandenburg. And then as we zoom out, who wants to know about rain? So if you look here, eastern Harrison County, western Louisville, almost nothing. South end of Louisville, about an inch around Okolona near the airport. J-Town over into Shelby County, Oldham County, like 1 to 2 inch amounts. Let's go over here into southern Indiana. This is Jeffersonville, parts of New Albany around an inch. And then Floyd County got a bunch, around 1 to 2.5 inches of rainfall. Scattered nature of summer thunderstorms. Some areas kind of dodged it, but there was a bunch out here as well. As you look into Washington County, Indiana, Orange County, look at that, over 3 inches in western Crawford County, southwestern Orange County, and then Salem, north of Salem. My buddy Adam Dufour up there had over 2 inches of rainfall. Madison, not much on the yards and gardens there. And then south, you guys are still looking for that rain around Elizabethtown, LaRue County. Grayson County got a good amount. So there's your summary for the rain that we picked up across the area yesterday. And Laura DeVore giving us a hello this morning. And we've got JK's. Thanks for going out on a limb, Ben. Bernheim Arboretum and Research Forest is calling my name. Yes. I used to train for marathons out there. I don't remember how many loops. And Laura's saying, I don't think we got much rain at Valley Station. Yeah, you're right. So down there at Bernheim, 2012, 2013 timeframe, I would do that whole loop in the lower, and then I would run up the Fire Tower Hill, which was miserable, then go down. I think it was like 6 mile loop to do all of that. And so I would do that 4 or 5 times. And I ran 26.2 miles out there as a training run. But usually I would stop at around 20 or 22 miles, but spent a lot of time out there at Bernheim. Beautiful place. And they always had a lot of weekend events too. I was talking about the weekend events earlier. If you got any weekend events around your house or your neighborhood, your town, your county, if there's a festival going on, drop it in the comments and we will talk about it. Speaking of that, let's get to the forecast here for you, since we've done the bin on a limb. And for those of you just popping on, here is a look at your forecast summary, your weather headlines today for your August 13th. Few storms out there today possible, about a 30% chance of that, mostly dry the rest of the week. And then that relief that we just showed on the bin on a limb segment, middle and end of next week. Today, high of 89 with those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, west wind at around 5 to 10. And then there is that big double rainbow. Might see some of these again if you get a shower to pop up nearby this evening. You need that lower sun angle towards evening time to get us a nice bright rainbow. Wes Bannett sending this one to me this morning from Floyd's Knobs. And the turkeys are out there gobbling around. This is what I saw on my way into work. This family of turkeys I've been watching for quite some time, all year long. It is the Knobs Fest this weekend. If you're looking for something to do, Saturday or Sunday. Saturday is the big day, of course. And this is up in Floyd's Knobs at St. Mary the Knobs. And 5:30 p.m. to midnight Saturday. Select games, pull tabs, live music, Juice Box Heroes. Seen them several times. They're awesome. Beer garden, food trucks, gambling, Big Six, blackjack, tethered hot air balloons. Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., famous chicken dinner, kids zone, games of chance, games of skill, pull tabs, raffle drawings, food and ice cream. You can find more about all of this at www.yoursmk.org or yoursmk.org, St. Mary of the Knobs. So fun there. And then the Kentucky State Fair begins this weekend through all of next week. Here's the deal with the Kentucky State Fair. If it were me, I would plan that visit late next week when we get the relief, because it's going to be feeling like 100 degrees Saturday and Sunday. And how many days until those before 8 p.m. sunsets begin in 20 days? Fall begins in 39, just over a month. Average highs in the 70s in 41 days. We might get some 70s in that forecast, though, late next week. Crossing our fingers for that. Halloween, 78 days. Our forecast summary today for your August the 13th, 89, partly sunny, muggy. Dew points are in the 70s still, so it is humid. 30% chance of that shower or thunderstorm. Sunset at 8:38. I think we could see some foggy spots overnight, low 73 degrees. We've got some of that rain in the ground. We've got a light breeze. We've got clear sky. We've got foggy ingredients. Thursday, August 14th forecast tomorrow. I've just put isolated in the text there. It's a super small chance of any pop-up shower. Most areas will stay dry with our high temperature at 90 degrees. 6:57 sunrise, sunset at 8:37. And the 7-day forecast here at 10:40 on your hump day morning. 90 tomorrow, 92 Friday, and there's your back-to-back 95s. Low temperatures are warm in the mid-70s. That means it's going to be rather humid. You tack on the humidity, it's going to feel like around 100 to 105 for this weekend. 94 on Monday, and then 92 Tuesday. So our heat wave rolls on through Tuesday. We should get a front Wednesday. That might give us a little bit of a rain chance, but more importantly, some relief for us around that time. So like a Wednesday, Thursday time frame, that's when I'm watching out for that relief to head our way. So there you go. Mostly dry 7-day forecast for us. And then wait till tomorrow. Hopefully Thursday, you're going to like the Thursday a whole lot more. All right, let me bring that up, bring this up. Just looking at a couple more live shots out there this morning to get you going. There you can see just a little field of some thin cumulus clouds, but as we've seen during the day, those cumulus clouds begin to grow bigger and bigger, and a few of those can grow big enough to become a cumulonimbus, nimbus meaning rain, and a downpour. You can get a lot of your weather needs any time of the day right here at extolmag.com/weather. We've got the interactive radar there. We have our live stream up right now. That's me showing the 7-day forecast just a second ago on YouTube. Thanks for liking or subscribing on YouTube, getting those numbers up there. And a reminder too that we've got our regular Ben at 10 every morning, 10 a.m. But if we get severe weather, we get a big event coming up, maybe a snowstorm, we'll do a longer form coverage for you to help you and protect you if we get severe weather. 7-day forecast, your weather story, severe weather outlooks. We have no severe weather for us. Interactive radar right here. It's got more tools other than the radar where you can plot the temperatures, you can plot the winds. Looks like we're starting to warm up a little bit more, near 80 degrees downtown. The temperatures haven't risen quite as quickly as the last couple of days. I think thanks to some of that rain-cooled air, some of that moisture in the ground. And then also a reminder to you as well. I want to give a shout out, some announcements here to our partners. If you ever want to get some information about your roof, get a free estimate, you can do that at lionsroofingco.com. Call them 812-294-3595, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. And they'll do residential, they'll do commercial, new builds, custom homes, this side of the river in southern Indiana or on the Kentucky side. lionsroofingco.com. Of course, storm damage, you might need to get in contact with your insurance company, and I recommend Michael Long here with American Family Insurance. Contact him, 812-578-3072. Tell him I sent you, or you can just go to amfam.com, amfam.com, and then search for Michael Long, and you'll find his page. You can see where he's at. You can get in contact with him, all the different things that he can help you out with. You got bundles, car, home, life, umbrella, renters, and there's a whole lot more that he helps us out with as well. A lot of job openings here at libspaving.com, L-I-B-B as in Ben, S, paving.com. Each one of those dark blue lines is a job opening. So if you know anybody that needs a career, a job, it is right there for you at libspaving.com. You can apply online there. You can also level up your career by heading over to Ivy Tech, the Sellersburg campus here. They've got a brand new program, the nation's first ETC, Enlisted Training Corps program, where students will learn about military service and public service. It is starting this fall. Fall sessions begin August 25th. You can register here online, learn more about tuition and aid and admissions. You can get one-on-one connection here. You can register there online. I was out there yesterday. They had a huge event, the signing ceremony with Dr. Marty Polio, the president, used to be with JCPS, of course, the Ivy Tech president. They had the U.S. Army out there. They had the Indiana National Guard for the signing ceremony, starting the nation's first ETC program. So what that does is if you get your associates at the Sellersburg campus of Ivy Tech, you can enlist at an E4 level ranking. That gives you a 30% bump in pay ahead of the standard enlistment. So there you go. It gives you a head start. And that is what Ivy Tech is all about. Head starts, dual credit courses, saving us thousands of dollars with our kids and their post-secondary education. Boom, there you go. That is a Ben at 10. And one last look outside, and we'll look at a couple more comments that have been popping in. Starting to see a few of those cumulus clouds growing. This is at Extol Media Studios at the corner of Vincent's and Market in Uptown, New Albany. And you can always find our live program any day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m., right here with me, Meteorologist Ben Peine, my page on Facebook. You can also find us at Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. Christian Walker is saying, I don't like the cold weather. I am a warm weather person. I'm with you, but I'm starting to like fall more and more. It's nice to be outside in fall. Lillian Lasley, love the Ben on a limb. Thank you very much. Laura is, I like the warm, just not smothered in humidity. The wet heat that we have in our area. And Vicky, too, is a warm weather person. To that, cheers from Big Happy. That will do it. Thank you all for tuning in here this morning. We will see you tomorrow morning, which I'm hoping by the end of that 7-day forecast next Thursday, we're going to be dropping the temperature. So we're going to talk a lot about that and a heat wave before that happens for this weekend. So as always, in the Ohio Valley, in Southern Indiana, in Kentucky, and beyond, we always have a lot to talk about here on Ben at 10. So thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your hump day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, same time and same place. Steve Gibbons, appreciate the rain totals anytime. This is your show. That's why I like you guys to drop in the comments. If I'm not showing a map that you want to see, there's a good chance we got the resources to show it. So make this your show. Boss me around. Tell me what you want to see. And we will see you later. We'll end it with Christian Walker with the goodbye.